At 30, I was scrubbing floors and barely making ends meet. Fast forward 5 years, I'm a millionaire with a thriving business empire. How did I go from a maid to a mogul? Stick around, and I'll share every step of my unbelievable transformation. Before we dive in, hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more life-changing stories. Let's get started. My days as a maid were anything but glamorous. Each morning I woke up at 4:30 a.m., not because I wanted to, but because I had to catch the first bus across town. My uniform was always neatly pressed, though I couldn't say the same for my life. By the time I arrived at the first house, I'd already fought exhaustion, hunger, and the creeping fear that my life might never change. Cleaning wasn't just physically demanding, it was emotionally draining too. The homes I worked in were enormous, filled with things I could never dream of affording. Chandeliers sparkled overhead while I scrubbed marble floors until my hands turned raw. Every swipe of the mop felt like a reminder of my own circumstances, small, struggling, invisible. The worst part wasn't the work itself, but the way some people treated me. Some clients acted like I was part of the furniture, ignoring me entirely as if I didn't exist. Others talked down to me, micromanaging every step I took or criticizing my work before I'd even finished. I'll never forget one client who threw a tantrum because I'd accidentally placed a vase 2 inches to the left of where it originally stood. The humiliation stung, but I bit my tongue. I couldn't afford to lose the job. Financially, I was hanging by a thread. My paycheck barely covered rent for the small, crumbling apartment I shared with my younger brother. At night, I'd lie awake listening to the sounds of dripping pipes and sirens outside, wondering if this was all life had in store for me. Sometimes I skipped meals to make sure he had enough to eat, but it wasn't just the physical and financial strain. There was a deep loneliness that crept in. I felt trapped in an endless loop. Wake up, clean, go home, sleep, repeat. Dreams of a better life seemed so far out of reach. They felt like fantasies. There were moments, though, when hope flickered faintly. Occasionally, I'd clean homes where the walls were lined with bookshelves, and I'd pause for just a moment to run my fingers along the spines. I'd imagine what it would be like to learn, to grow, to have the kind of opportunities that seemed reserved for others. Still, most days, that hope was buried beneath layers of exhaustion and despair. As much as I wanted to believe there was something more out there, I couldn't see how to escape. My world felt as small and confined as the cleaning closets I spent my breaks in. One rainy evening, I came home exhausted, only to find an eviction notice pinned to our door. My brother, devastated, asked, "What are we going to do now?" It hit me then. This cycle of survival had to end. I needed a way to break free, not just for myself, but for him too. The next day, while cleaning a wealthy client's home, I stumbled upon a book about entrepreneurship. Curiosity got the better of me, and I flipped through the pages during my lunch break. One quote stuck with me: "The only limit to your success is your mindset." It felt like a message meant just for me. Armed with that newfound determination, I started researching business ideas on my old smartphone. I saved every penny I could, skipping meals and walking to work to cut expenses. Slowly, an idea began to form. A cleaning service of my own, but with a twist. Eco-friendly products and a focus on quality and care. At night, I watched free online videos about starting a business, marketing, and managing finances. I wrote down every idea, every goal, and every step I needed to take. It wasn't much, but it was a start. When I finally decided to start my own cleaning business, it felt like stepping off a cliff with no safety net. I had no formal business education, no connections, and barely enough money to scrape together the essentials. But I also had nothing to lose, and everything to gain. The first hurdle was the logistics. I sat at my tiny kitchen table late into the night, sketching out plans on scraps of paper and using my phone to research permits and licenses. I didn't even own a proper laptop. Every decision felt monumental, from choosing a business name to deciding whether to spend my last bit of savings on a professional website. I settled on a name that felt true to my values: Bright Horizons Cleaning Services. Marketing was a challenge I hadn't anticipated. I didn't have the funds for glossy ads or flashy promotions, so I relied on sheer grit and determination. I printed flyers at the local library and walked for hours to distribute them door to door in nearby neighborhoods. I introduced myself to anyone who would listen: moms at playgrounds, cashiers at grocery stores, even strangers at the bus stop. My pitch was simple: affordable, reliable, and detail-oriented cleaning from someone who truly cared. The first client came after 2 weeks of relentless effort. I remember the call vividly. I was washing dishes when my phone buzzed, and I nearly dropped it in my excitement. The client, a young professional who lived in a modest apartment, hesitated as she asked about my rates. I could hear the doubt in her voice, but I poured my heart into convincing her. "You won't regret it," I said. "I'll treat your home like it's my own." That first cleaning job was nerve-wracking. I arrived an hour early, double-checking my supplies and rehearsing my introduction. As I scrubbed and polished, I worked harder than I ever had before, determined to leave her apartment spotless. When she returned home, she gasped in delight. "I've never seen it this clean," she said, handing me an envelope with my payment. Her glowing review became my first stepping stone. Word of mouth spread faster than I dared to hope. Each satisfied client seemed to tell a friend or family member about my services, and soon my phone was ringing off the hook. I learned to manage my growing schedule, squeezing in appointments and juggling calls during short breaks. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. There were days when I questioned whether I'd made the right choice. I dealt with rude clients, unpredictable cancellations, and moments of self-doubt. There was one particularly grueling day when I cleaned 3 houses back to back and came home with blisters on my hands. As I soaked my aching feet, I wondered if I was in over my head. Still, every setback fueled my determination. I started reinvesting my earnings into the business, purchasing better equipment and expanding my services. I hired a graphic designer to create a professional logo and even built a website, working on it late into the night with the help of free tutorials. The breakthrough moment came when I landed my first big contract, cleaning services for a small office building. It was a game changer, providing steady income and solidifying my reputation. Suddenly, I wasn't just a maid trying to make ends meet. I was a business owner carving out a path to success. Launching my dream wasn't easy, but every small victory reminded me why I had started. For the first time in my life, I felt a spark of pride and ownership. This was my business, my creation, and my chance to build a better future. As the business grew, I hired my first employee, a single mom like me, who reminded me of the struggles I'd faced. Together, we expanded the company, offering specialized services and catering to high-end clients. I reinvested every dollar I earned, upgrading our equipment, expanding the team, and launching a website that made booking easy. Within 2 years, we were servicing luxury homes, offices, and even celebrities. Success didn't come without hurdles. Competitors tried to undercut my prices, and managing a growing team was harder than I'd imagined. But every challenge taught me something valuable: how to negotiate, how to lead, and how to stay resilient. Today, my cleaning empire spans multiple cities, with dozens of employees and a revenue of over $2 million annually. I live in a beautiful home, drive a car I once dreamed of, and travel whenever I want. But the greatest reward is giving back. I've started a foundation to help women like me, maids, single moms, and underappreciated workers, find their own paths to success. Thank you for watching my journey. If my story inspired you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, no matter where you start, the possibilities are endless. See you in the next video.